Welcome to the Tradies in Business podcast with your hosts Warwick Bidwell and Nicole Cox. Divert your phone and grab a brew as Waz and Nic unpack tips, tales, secrets and stuff-ups from guests both inside and outside your trade, helping educate and inspire you to break the cycle of gut-busting and money stress and create a true trade business.
Start recording.
Happy Monday.
I said start recording after I'd pressed start recording. G'day, listeners. How are you? I am on my game today, Coxie.
Must be a Monday.
And what's even funnier is that I could so easily just edit those dumb bits out.
Oh, no, you got to leave the dumb bits in. They show
I know.
that we're human.
I could make
when
us.
They're your dumb bits.
Yeah, thanks. I could make us or me sound really professional and polished.
No, nobody
but
would.
Then,
no.
Yeah, I think that would just be too much wankerish for our listeners.
I agree. We're talking to tradies. They're our audience. They don't believe we're perfect because we're not.
I don't think they could believe we're perfect even if we tried.
No.
Which is how I like it. I just don't go for all the BS that's out there in business development land.
Oh, here comes the Chuck Norris. How does this even happen? It's like we sit there and script it. I'm impressed.
And I think one of the biggest BS myths out there is the one of getting off the tools. There you go, Coxie. I just opened the roller door for you to drive on through.
With my bus.
Yeah.
Yes. This entire episode has come about through me whinging, really, like so many of them do.
You were having a bit of a pissy whinge about this, weren't you?
I have, in doing what we're doing, Facebook has an amazing algorithm that brings up in front of me every other business coach in the world. My Facebook feed is full of business coaches, and I am sick to death of reading false promises. And it upset me a bit because I'm thinking back to a particular tradie. Well, there's two tradies we're working with at the moment who have come off the tools, and it just hasn't worked for them. And it hasn't worked because they're tradies. They need to keep their hands in doing things on a day-to-day basis instead of steering the ship as a business owner, but they're letting go of what's happening on site, and it's not working for them.
Yeah. And so much so, Coxie, that we are in the process of changing one of our longest running free downloads on our website.
We are. That's how passionate I feel about it.
We're renaming it. And I figured if I didn't rename it, then you would disown me and run away with Tradies in Business. You might actually get a whole lot more followers if you ditched me.
Oh, I don't know about that. That's not
I did
fair.
get a haircut last week, so I might stop scaring as many of the young children.
Your hair looked fine.
Oh, I had those little annoying bits around my ears.
Right.
Like where it feels like I've got a cobweb on my ear, but it was my own hair. And I was like, that's it. Time for a haircut.
I'm sure the listeners are enjoying this part of the podcast.
All right, so back to the main program. We are changing the name of one of our longest running downloads, which was called the Get Off the Tools Guide. And you know what? It used to actually get a lot of interest.
It does get a lot of interest because people think they want to come off the tools. But I think that we forget in having that as our goal that we're tradies and we actually like, when we started this way back when we first went into our apprenticeship, most tradies, maybe not all, but most went into it because they like it. They like getting their hands dirty. They like doing the work that they're doing. It's just that we get overwhelmed and there's so much work and there's so much to do that we feel like the only way to move forward is to get off the tools, in air quotes, that you can't see.
Yes. And I think getting off the tools is still a great goal to have longer term.
Mm-hmm.
Where I feel like it becomes actually a negative thing and achieves the opposite effect is where people rush to get off the tools in their trade business.
Yes.
Before they've really done all the other work that needs to be done.
There's a lot of work to be done to get off the tools.
Yeah.
But you can
And
buy back some time pretty quickly. We won't make promises because we don't. It all comes down to how hard you're going to work as the business owner. But if you put some steps in place, you can pretty quickly buy some time back in your business so that
Yeah.
you're not out on the tools and you're working on those other things.
Yep. And and I was just going to say, it's I think it's about the order of things, the timing and the order of things.
Yes.
And this idea of that got you a bit uppity this morning of getting off the tools is it's not that that's wrong per se. It's that I feel like there is a lot of, well, that is the only measure of success is whether you're off the tools in your business.
Without a doubt.
You know, the business runs without you, full stop. And if you don't have a business that does that, then somehow you're useless or you failed or you're not there yet and you need to work harder or you're broken or you need to spend more money with your business coach. And I just think that's a really narrow view of success in a business.
It's very negative.
Yeah. And there's a lot more to it. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot more to it than just getting off the damn tools because there's business owners that are off the tools and they still don't have a very good business.
Unfortunately. It doesn't.
And so I think we need to get clearer on the metrics of success.
I agree. I feel that I guess it's typical in advertising. We're trying to sell a dream or a destination. So we've got to make it the big glossy one. In an actual fact, how about we just speak to the truth of what the steps are within getting your business set and ready so that you can step out and do working on the business instead of in it all of the time. And that, but those steps don't feel so nice, do they? They don't feel so glossy. They're not so exciting.
It's not sexy, Coxie.
It's not.
There's a tongue twister for you.
I'm not going to try because I know on Monday morning I'm going to fail.
So what do we need to do about this, Nicole?
I think we just got to talk to the issues at hand. Let's talk about what it is, what it looks like. Let's not sell the big goal yet. Yep, that might be where we want to go, but let's not make false promises, which you and I don't. And let's speak plainly about what's involved. It's not hard. It's not easy because you're going to have to change. Change is uncomfortable, but it's not hard to do what's necessary.
Yeah. A great way to reference that I heard years ago was the distinction between simple and easy. And that idea that, well, in actual fact, I think a lot of achieving success in business, or life, however you measure that, whatever your metric is for success, whether that's getting time back, whether it's making more money, whether it's doing work with better clients or clients that you enjoy working with more, whatever your metric for success is, I think that's where a lot of business helpers perhaps miss the mark a little bit. And I know I've done that over the years, is thinking I know what success looks like for everybody.
Yes.
And perhaps that sort of comes back to that whole get off the tools idea is too many business helpers, I'll refer to them as, have pretty much decided that building a business that works without you should be your measure of success. And I guess if I'm understanding you correctly, Coxie, that's okay, but that's not everybody's cup of tea.
No, definitely not.
So I think getting clearer on what your own metric for success is probably a big part of it. But then changing that is really simple. Fixing a business, Coxie, you and I know it's really simple. The things to do are simple, but they're not easy.
They're not. Sometimes they feel like pineapples.
And if you're wondering what that is all about, go listen to Friday's episode.
That's the truth, right? Change is uncomfortable. And I just feel that this isn't something anybody much speaks to when we talk about how we can help you fix your business. For you, your measure of success might be understanding your cash flow and knowing what your cash flow is and being able to plug the holes, that might mean that your business feels successful to you. But I promise to get there, you're going to have a few pineapples. It's going to be a little uncomfortable from time to time whilst you have a look at your numbers, because they're never what you think they are. They're never as comfortable as you want them to be. They'll
Pineapples are never...
No, they're very prickly.
pleasurable.
They're very prickly. But once you get past the initial prickle, life gets a little bit easier. The understanding comes, the growth comes in that understanding and that change. So I feel the change that needs to be made is that we talk to what needs to be done rather than here's a big glossy shiny thing that everybody needs to chase. Here's a couple of little shiny things that might work for you in your business. Have a go at those.
It's kind of that one size fits all it's not true.
Well, you and I don't wear the same size.
No. And we might save it for another episode, but the whole we're all in this together thing.
Yeah, no.
With COVID, it's like, no, we're not. No, we're not. We're not like the politicians aren't in this like we are.
No, they've still got wages coming in. They don't need to worry about where their next meal is coming from or how they're going to pay the apprentice or whether JobKeeper's going to arrive in time before they go broke. No, they're not worried about any of those things.
No. And neither are most of the people standing up there saying, oh, we're all in this together. So I'm going to leave that alone before I get really cranky and keep this about getting off the tools. Maybe that's the worst thing you could do in your business.
For some people, it just doesn't work.
Maybe you sitting in the office and trying to run your business like a general manager would is the dumbest thing you ever thought of. And that's why we're changing the name of our guide, because we don't want any liability for that. No, it's just, I think, understanding where our strengths are, where your strengths are, listeners, and without hiding from the reality that change is hard and that some things, if you want different results, you're going to have to change some things about how you do it, how you run your business. But I think just that broad paint everybody with the same brush idea of achieve true success by getting off the tools, I think that's wrong. It's too narrow.
I don't know that I have really ever had a good, honest conversation with a tradie that actually wanted to fully come off the tools.
No.
I have had plenty tell me they want to come off the tools, and then when we talk about what that looks like, it's not actually what they're after. Most tradies enjoy their trade, particularly when they get that time to step back and do the other stuff without quite so much pressure. So I guess, I don't know, probably I had 2 points to this little rant of mine today. And one was to determine your own success by what works for you in your business. And the other is, again, very similar, just not to be blindsided by massive promises, whether they are that we can get you off the tools or whether they are will increase your revenue by two times or let's 10x your business. They're big starry things that require a lot of pineapples, but we're not told about the pineapples first. So, yep, end rant. I'll stop now.
So, listeners, if you would like to share your thoughts with Coxie on that topic, or me, best place to do that is probably go and join the group, I'd say, Coxie. If you're not a member of the group, the Tradies in Business group on Facebook, go and join it. You can join the conversations that are on there, and there are many. I think we're just about to pass 1,600 trade businesses in there that are all chatting about COVID and getting off the tools and job management software and what insurances do you need, and wow, the diversity of questions and answers in there, it just blows my mind some days. But join the group, and then you can message me, and I was trying to think of something that rhymed with me. You?
She.
Me and she. Thank you. I'm a bit slow on a Monday morning. So you can message me and she, the cat's mother, or you can just post your comments and thoughts in there and hang out with a whole bunch of awesome, like-minded trade business owners. So head over to Facebook groups, search for Tradies in business. Apply to join, prove you're a legit tradie, and we're likely to let you in.
We are kind. There's not too many pineapples in there either, by the way.
We reserve the pineapples for the spammers and the scammers.
They get big pineapples. Very firmly planted.
Well, thank you for listening, listeners, because that's what listeners do. They listen.
They do with their listeners.
Thanks for following us. Thanks for all of your feedback. Make sure you join the group and let us know what you think. Have you been trying to get off the tools when, in fact, maybe that's the wrong measure of success for you? Let us know.
Have a wonderful week.
Yeah. Have a great Monday. Hooroo.
You've been listening to the Tradies in Business podcast with Warwick Bidwell and Nicole Cox. Find out more about today's guest, tools for your trade business, and other cool stuff at tradiesinbusiness.com.au.